Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. It is Friday before Labor Day, so hopefully a lot of you guys are excited about a 3-day weekend. And if you're into college football, then college football and the NFL, if you're into that too, are both starting. I'm into one, not the other. You can probably guess which is which. But either way, it's fun times. And if you're a baseball fan, of course, in the 2025 season, they are getting close to the stretch run for the playoffs. So this is one of the better times in sports, in my opinion. That and the springtime around March or April, where baseball is getting ready to start and the college basketball is finishing up. That's probably my two favorite times, I would say, in sports. My two favorite times of the year, seasons, what do you want to call it? All right, so we are in California for this one between the Toronto Blue Jays and the California Angels. Don Sutton is on the mound for California, and he will be opposed by Dave Stieb of Toronto. Got the game on the Strat computer, ready to score it as we play it and give you the stats for all the different players as they've accumulated here in the regular season so far. We are at May 19th. This is the last game of I'm going to do a video for the May 19th block. I'm going to play the other ones offline, but the May 19th block right here, game 257. California off its Anaheim Stadium, I guess is what they call it. Singles are 1-5, both left and right. Home runs are 1-12, left and right. Both pitchers have -2 quotients with the catcher in their hold feature. Let's see. Sutton's a 7 wild pitch and a 0 balk, and Stieb is a 4 wild pitch and a 0 balk. Toronto comes in 24-12. California comes in 17-21. Toronto is definitely in a dead heat with the Yankees and the Brewers trying to capture first place in the American League East. Hello, Chuck, and hello, Mr. Goodman. I hope you are both doing well on this Friday. All right, got our dice. And I tried to take a picture of this. It didn't turn out as well as I would hoped, but I guess I'll try to show it anyway. Of what I'm looking at as I'm playing the game. This is my screen. Let's see if I can, hold on, let me see if I can do this. This is the a screenshot of my computer as I'm playing it. So I've got it set up for direct entry, of course, and if I can get the computer to work for me, I'm going to do a direct entry. I hate to use the word tutorial, but just maybe show some things about direct entry that are shortcuts and maybe the fastest way to do it or the best way to do it. So that's my screen for Strat-O-Matic computer. So I will be scoring the game as we play it. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Jeremiah, always good to see you. And Amware, don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome. Glad to have you. And let's get the ball on the roll. Let's get this thing going here. Maybe need another sip of coffee. Yes. Morning Strat. Got to have my coffee here. It's right here with me, hot and ready to go. Okay. I'm ready to go, but it ain't hot. So one out is Meatloaf almost saying 1 out of 2 isn't bad. All right. Tony Fernandez will lead off against Don Sutton. We'll look at Don Sutton's complete numbers on the replay. Sutton is, well, if you look over here, you can see I didn't write it in, so you can't look over here. He is 2-3 on the replay with a 4.09 earned run average, 51 innings pitched, 45 hits, only 4 walks and 25 strikeouts, a really good walk to strikeout ratio. And Tony Fernandez is hitting .384. He's one of the top hitters in the league. No homers, 12 driven in. He hit .322 real world. And runs away from California, 2-8 for Fernandez. He's going to ground to first. And Wally Joyner is back on the roster for the Angels. So Wally World is back, and he makes the play, takes it to the bag himself, and there's quickly one away. That'll bring up Rance Mulliniks, the designated hitter for Toronto. He's hitting .333 and 81 at bats, 2 homers, 15 driven in, hit .310 real world. .410 left-handed against Sutton. Has a ground ball third base excess, Doug DeSensei. He's a 3.E23. A double die starts early. Boy, you can't catch a break from the double die. It's going to get you early and often. And 3 and a 4 is probably not a good thing for him. 3 and a 4 is a single, so we'll get through. That's an 8, and he is an E23. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Nope, there's no 8, but it will get by him for a single, so it's a base hit for Rance Mulliniks, as DeSensei not able to get to it. Mulliniks no threat to run, so he will not be held. And here comes Lloyd Moseby. Moseby on the replay is hitting .317, 12 homers, 40 driven in. And he's hitting .282 real world, so a little bit better. But his home runs are up. He's got, actually, I didn't realize that he hit 26 home runs in that season. I didn't think of him much as a home run hitter. I thought of George Bell and Barfield as home run hitters, but Moseby hit 26 on his own, so not bad. Like I said, right now he's got 12. It's a 4-4, and that's a catcher X, so we're going to Bob Boone. Bob Boone is a 1, E14. 1 and a 3. Boy, the double die is it's in midseason form for sure. 1-3 is a W/G, and that is a 12, and he is an E10. I'm sorry, E14. E14, there's a 12 right there. So it's going to be an error. W/G and an error. So let's look at W/G and an E1. Error, batter to first, runners advance 1 base. Pretty simple. So an error on Bob Boone, and that's going to put runners at first and second with still only 1 out. And that'll bring up the dangerous George Bell. Bell on the replay is hitting .266, 10 homers, 28 driven in. He hit .308 real world. Sutton, the cagey veteran, has to try to get by. 4-6, and he can't. That's a single to center field. Mulliniks does not run well. And in center field, let's see, center fielder Pettis has a +1 arm, though. But it's 11 not being held, makes him a 12, +1's a 13. That's still not, when you got Barfield coming up, you're not going to run yourself out of an inning. So they're going to go station to station, load the bases for Jesse Barfield. Barfield hitting .309 on the replay, 13 home runs, 39 driven in. He hit .263 real world. Infield for the Angels is playing back for a double play early on, and the double die comes up a 1. What do you know? Wild pitch rate on Sutton is a 7. That's 16, so Boone blocks it, fortunately for California. And now he'll deal with Barfield. 4-6, and that's another single to center field. That's not going to be good for Sutton. That error on Boone seems to have really get him in, and Moseby's going to score as well without a throw. They're not even going to try to get Moseby because he's a 17, not being held as an 18, and the +1 from Pettis is a 19. So they're going to throw the ball in and keep Bell at second base. So it's a 2-run single from Jesse Barfield. He's up to 41 runs batted in now with those 2 RBI he just collected there. And now Don Sutton's got to collect himself as he's in a bad way. Hello, Kathy, and hello, Dr. D, and hello, Ronnie. Good to see all of you on this Friday before Labor Day. Willie Upshaw, the batter. He's one of the few Blue Jays that is struggling. He's only hitting .222, no homers, 11 driven in. He hit .244 real world with 15 home runs. So he has yet to go long in this 87 season, the year of the home run. Here's Sutton, 3-9, and that's a 1-7 single. Anything else he lines to second, lines it right to the second baseman McLemore for out number 2. Everybody freezes on the base pass. 2 down for the catcher, Ernie Witt. Ernie Witt is hitting .308 on the replay, 5 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 269, I believe it was. Yeah, 269 in real world. Witt in a clutch situation, as they say, 2-4, but he will strike out. 2-4 is a strikeout. So Sutton does come back and get the strikeout there, but 2 runs, only one of them are earned thanks to the error by Boone, but they still count on the scoreboard. Toronto 2, California coming to bat. And right-hander Dave Stieb given a 2-0 lead to work with. Stieb on the replay is 5-1. And his ERA is 4.18. Real world, it was 4.09, so pretty much right on target. 52 innings pitched, 43 hits, 30 walks, and 31 strikeouts. That's where Stieb stands at the moment. An unusual lineup for the Angels in this one. I'm not sure what Gene Mauch was doing, but Rupert Jones, the designated hitter, will lead off, and these are as-played lineups as usual. He's going to lead off. He's hitting 200 on the replay and 40 at-bats, 2 homers, 3 driven in. Rupert Jones on base, well, it doesn't give his on-base percentage on these older 87 cards like they do on the modern cards. Let me check the computer real quick and see what his on-base percentage was, because he seemed like a strange candidate to lead off. Let's see, on-base 316. 316 is his on-base percentage. Stieb, 3-9. That's a ground ball to first. And Mr. Upshaw will handle it, take it to the bag himself. Easy out, 1 down. For Wally World, he has returned from injury. He's hitting 331 on the replay, 9 homers, 25 runs driven in 136 at-bats. He hit 285 real world. So hitting 331, he's definitely having a good start. 5-12, that's a ground ball first base C. So again, a ground ball to Upshaw, but with it being a C, we have him flipping to Stieb covering for the out. That's not in the Strat rule book. That's just a house rule that I picked up from someone else, that any ground ball to first that's an X chance or a C chance is a 3-1 ground out, where A and B ground balls to first base are just 3 unassisted. Like I said, it's just an aesthetic thing. It's nothing in the rule book about it. All right, Devon White, 262 average, 7 homers, 23 driven in, and he had a 263 average real world, so he's right on pace for where he needs to be. 6'9", switch hitter batting left. That's a 1-2 triple. 19 is going to be a double. 2-out double for Devon White. And he's in scoring position for left fielder Jack Howell. Howell in the clutch will lose a hit on 2-7 against right-hander, so he's got to avoid that 2-7. On the replay, he's hitting 287, 3 homers, 14 driven in. Stieb to Howell, 4-9, and it's going to be a base on balls. So all of a sudden, with 2 outs, Stieb has hit a little bit of a bump in the road, and here comes the sensei, third baseman. He's hitting 201 on the replay, 5 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 234 real world. So the sensei could really use one. 6'9", and he's going to get one. 1-4 is a triple. That's a 5. It'll be a double for Doug DeSensei. That will score Devon White easily. Don't know about Howell. Let's see. The double is assumed to go to center field when it's not listed. And the center fielder, Mosby, is a 0 arm. Howell was a 12, not being held as a 13. 2 outs makes him a 15. So 1-15, and they're going to go for it. 1-15, and the Blue Jays will throw home. Since the sensei is a less than a 13 runner, he cannot advance. He will have to stay at second. 1-15, he's in the Howell scores. And he does. So Howell, 2-run double from Doug DeSensei has just tied the ball game. Angels have come back here in this first inning and tied the game, and now here comes Gary Pettis. Pettis is hitting 273 on the replay, no homers, 12 driven in. Stieb had a couple ground balls to first to start the inning, but has hit trouble since. 1-5, and he's going to strike out Pettis to get out of it, much like Sutton did to get out of his inning. Stieb strikes out the last batter to get out of his inning, but it's 2-2 after one complete here in California. So both pitchers are going to look to regroup and start afresh here in the second inning. Kelly Gruber will lead off for Toronto. Kelly Gruber is hitting .338 on the replay, 4 homers, 12 driven in. Not sure what he's been, if he's eating his Wheaties or what, because he only hit .235 real world, but he's killing it in the replay, .338. Of course, only 74 bats, and he had 341 total, so that can certainly average out later on. 4-8, and that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-12. It's not averaging out now. Gruber is going to go deep. Look at it again, 4-8, ballpark blast, 1-12. That's an 8. He's got normal power. Kelly Gruber, his 5th home run of the replay, and he continues his hot hitting, RBI number 13 on the replay. And Toronto, just that quickly, regains the lead 3-2. Gotta bring up Mike Sharperson. Boy, I need some, my throat's getting to me here. I need some coffee. Probably need water, but in the morning, I opt for coffee. I'll take water later. Sharperson hitting 188 on the replay, no homers, 6 driven in. He only hit 208 real world. 6-4 against Sutton as a catcher X. That again is Spoon, a 1E14. 1 and a 5. Let's see what the 1 and the 5 is. Nobody's on base, so you can't have any pass balls or anything. 1 to 5 is going to be a pop out unless there's an error. That's a 10. I don't think he's going to have an error on a 10. E14. No, there's no 10. So it's going to be a pop out to Bob Boone. 1 away. And that's going to flip the order back over to the leadoff man, Tony Fernandez. Grounded to Joyner his first time up. Whoa, we got a hopping dice. We're going to re-roll that again. My house rule. All 4 dice have to land in the tray. Don't count. 2-7. That's a ground ball to second. McLemore will take care of it. 2 down. That's the great thing about house rules is people can make their own house rules. And a lot of people do. If you ask all the gamers, they probably have, you ask each individual 15 different people, you probably get 15 different house rules. 2-4. Ground ball back to Sutton to end the inning. And I think that's fine as long as you're consistent and keep the same house rules all the time. Game should flow perfectly. And nobody gets an advantage. All right, so bottom of the second we go. Stieb has been given a 3-2 lead to protect, and he's going to be facing McLemore, Boone, and Schofield. Starts the bottom of the second. McLemore hitting .256 on the replay, 3 homers, 19 driven in, .236 real world. Interestingly enough, he's had 125 at-bats in the replay and has 3 home runs. He had 3 home runs all season with 433 at-bats. So he's found the long ball to his liking. 210, and that's a single. There's an anti-clutch there, but we just started the inning, so there's no clutch situation to worry about. McLemore leadoff single, and it looks like both starting pitchers maybe need a relief here pretty quickly. McLemore, to get the lead, needs a 4, 5, or a 6. He gets the 6, but he also gets a 1, so his chance he's going to get picked off. His secondary lead is a 1-13. We're going to re-roll the D20. A 1-13, he gets back. 14 or higher, he is picked off. And he is picked off. You can call it caught stealing, whatever you want. I call it picked off. That's my house rule. And so McLemore is picked off by Stieb. Great pickoff move to get him. And that's the danger when you take the lead. You just can't take the lead carte blanche. There are risks involved. And that double die coming up is a great risk. I can tell you that, because especially on this channel. Double die, no double die comes up as a 1 more often on anybody's channel than this one. This one, I'm telling you, it's at least 10% it comes up. It's not the 5%. Forget the 5% rule. That's crap. That 1 comes up at least 10%. Because it's the double die. What do you say? What can you say? It doesn't matter if I use a black one, a white one, a blue one, a green one, a red one. It's all the same. All right, here's Bob Boone. 185 average on the replay, 242 in real world. No homers, 2 driven in. And as Bon Jovi once said, it's all the same, only the colors have changed. So I reworded his lyrics a little bit there. All right, here's Bob Boone, 5'4". Fly ball center field X. That's Mosby. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. He's an E7. E7 and a 12 for Mosby. I think I said Boone. It's Mosby. Let's go to the center field. He's a 12, E7 and a 12. There is no 12 there, so Mosby will make the play. 2 down. And that will send us to Dick Schofield, his first at bat, number 9 hitter. He's hitting 252 on the replay, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 251 real world. 4-8 for Stieb, struck him out. Second strikeout for Stieb, and that's going to end the inning. So at the end of 2, it's Toronto 3 and California 2. If I'm not mistaken, Bon Jovi went on to own like one of the indoor football leagues or something in New Jersey or something. I think I remember him doing something with sports. I just don't remember what it was. But I think he owned one of those, not XFL, but one of those indoor football leagues or something. Arena football, whatever they called it. I don't know what they called it. But anyway, hello, DJ. Good to see you from the West Coast. Retirement is good, DJ. I have not been bored one iota. Not at all. Went out and mowed the lawn yesterday in the nice weather and got to do it. Instead of having to rush home from work to do it, I was able to do it at my leisure, which was really, really nice. Here is Lloyd Mosby. 1-4. That's a fly to center. 1 away. So 30 years of being frugal and not spending a whole lot of money has paid off. And saving, of course. That's also a big thing. Having stuff in the retirement account definitely helps. All right. And having a working wife, that's also a bonus. All right, here's George Bell, 4-6, and that's a single to center field. And before you think I'm being mean and forcing my wife to go work while I retire, that was her suggestion that I retire. She wanted me to retire, so. Or else I'd still be working. And again, Devil Die comes up again for a wild pitch on Sutton. And it's a 7 once again. So we're going to roll for a 7. And once again, Bob Boone manages to block it. So Barfield will swing away. 111, and that's a ground ball shortstop A, 6-4-3 double play. Just what the doctor ordered for Don Sutton. Double play. And it's the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Toronto still leads at 3-2. Here is Rupert Jones. The only thing I remember about Rat is a video they did on a song called Round and Round, and I remember because Milton Berle was in the video. That's the only reason I remember it, because Milton Berle was in the video. The song wasn't bad. I'm not a Rat fan per se, obviously. It's the only song I know by them. It was a pretty good song, but I just remember the video because Milton Berle was in it. All right, here's Rupert Jones. 1-4, and that's a ballpark blast for Rupert. 1-12. That's an 11. Rupert's going to go deep. Maybe they knew what they were doing, putting Rupert in the leadoff spot, but there he is. Ballpark blast, 1-4. California's a 1-12, and that's an 11. So Rupert Jones goes yard to tie the ball game. And the balls are flying out of Anaheim Stadium. And for let's get the what happened here? Something didn't happen on my computer. I didn't do something correctly. Let me fix this real quick. Let me see what took place the last at bat here. Let's find out what's going on here. Let's see, Mosby. All right, I didn't do him right, so let's fix that. That's the one thing when you're trying to play the game and do it on the computer. Sometimes you get out of tune with what's going on. Let's see, Mosby flew to center. I think I forgot to put the fly out to center in there. And then Bell singled. And then the double play ground ball by Barfield. Okay, now we're straight. Just take a second to do that. All right, now we're back. And Rupert Jones hits his third home run of the replay. Home run number 3. He had 8 real world and RBI number 4. But it ties the ball game. We are tied at 3. And here is Wally Joyner. 2-5. And that's a possible home run for Joyner. 1-4. That's a 20. It'll be a double for Wally Joyner. So Stieb's not fooling anybody either. As Joyner gets a double, still nobody out for Devon White. White doubled his first time up. 5-6, hitter batting left-handed, struck him out. Stieb comes back with a big strikeout for the first out of the inning. And Jack Howell, left fielder, he walked and scored first time up. 6-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. That's Sharperson. He's a 4, E23. That 4 could be problematic. 12 and a 4. He might get a force play. That might be about the extent of it. Certainly no double play. 4 and a 12. Yeah, actually, he's not going to get a force play either. His only play is to first base. That's a 13. He's an E23. No, it's 11 and 17, no 13. So the only play he had was to go to first base. And Joyner will scoot on over to third base. So 2 down. Joyner now at third for Doug DeSensei. DeSensei had a 2-run double his first time up. That's an interesting tidbit there, Kathy. You were always a fountain of knowledge with those trivia questions. Here's DeSensei. 2-7, and that's a walk, and that'll put runners at the corners. And that'll send up Gary Pettis. DeSensei, no threat to run, is not being held. That's a 1 again. Double die shows up again. Steve is a 4. And it's blocked by Witt. Here's Pettis. 5-10, switch hitter batting left. That's a ballpark single check. It's 1-5. That's a 16. So he will fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But the game is tied thanks to Rupert Jones and his 3rd home run of the season. We're at the end of 3. We're tied at 3. Hey, Bob, how are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Don't know if you have anybody else out there has any big plans for the Labor Day weekend. I really don't. But if you're traveling or whatever, stay safe out there. I want to have you back on Tuesday, healthy and wise. I know the roadways might be a little crowded. All right, so Pettis flew to center to end the inning, and now we start at the top of the 4th with Willie Upshaw. Upshaw lines to second his first time up. 3-7 for Upshaw. He's going to ground it to second this time. So first time he had a line drive to McLemore. This time he grounds McLemore up to the occasion twice. Ooh, almost got that circle in the sand. Hope that doesn't come up. I don't know what's going on with Comcast, but hopefully we don't have any issues with that. Here's Ernie Witt. You never know with technology around here, or lack thereof. 2-3 is a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's going to fail. So it is a line out to second base for Ernie Witt. 2 down, and now could we get a 1-2-3 inning? That could be novelty. Here's Kruper. He homered his first time. 3-6, and that's a 1-3 single, but that's going to be a line out to short to end the inning. And if for some reason we get the circle in the sand and the thing kind of freezes up, just know in the background what I'm having to do is just shut down the computer completely, reboot it. So it takes about 4 minutes, but I will eventually come back. I'm not going to drop it. I'm going to come back. But hopefully that won't happen. All right, so Mark McLemore is your batter. Start the bottom of the 4th. McLemore singled, but it was picked off first base his first time up. 5-5. He's going to fly to right field where Barfield is stationed, and that's going to take care of him real quick. 1 away. For Bob Boone. Boone flew to center his first chance. 3-8 for Booney, and that's a single. There's a clutch symbol there, but we're not in that situation, so the single is good. And Booney, of course, will not be held. Slow runner. Only runs at a 9. So here's Dick Schofield. He is a strikeout victim his first chance. 1-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop B. We've got a fielder's choice. 6-4. Schofield, the new runner now. He has a chance to steal. Unlike Boone, he's in a much better position to do that. And to get the lead, he needs a 4 or a 5. Does not get it. So Schofield will hold. Here goes Rupert Jones. He homered last time up. 2-6. He's going to ground it to short. Fernandez is there, and that's going to end the inning. So both pitchers kind of matching each other with what they're doing through 4 innings is still tied at 3. Start the top of the 5th. Sutton, this is his fatigue inning. Kind of strange to have a 5 for fatigue inning in 1987, but that's the way they got him rated. So we'll keep an eye on his fatigue chances. See what he gives up. Of course, the computer will also let me know if he's fatigued, if I forget. All right, here's Mike Sharperson. 3-3 for Sharperson. He's going to ground it to Schofield at short. 1 away. 1 down for Tony Fernandez. 1-10, and that is a single to left field for Fernandez, and he's always looking to steal a base. 6 or a 7 will give him a good lead. He gets the 7, but he also gets the double down. You're watching here, folks. You've seen how many times this 1 keeps coming up. I'm telling you, it's not my imagination. Unlike that Motown song, it's not just my imagination running away with me. This is real world stuff here. So pickoff chance for Fernandez, a 1-13. He gets back, and he does get back barely. He does not get picked off. He got back, but he cannot establish a good lead now. So here's Rance Mullenix. 4-6, and that's a fly ball to center field. Gary Pettis under it, 2 down. And that brings up Lloyd Mosby, center fielder. He reached on an error by Boone, scored, and then flew to center. It's a 5-5 left-handed. Pops him up to second base where McLemore has it. And so Sutton gave up 1 single, but he still keeps some endurance. He will come back for the 6th. At least for the 6th, if nothing else. Don't know if I'll let him go 7 or not. Depends on how the score is going, but he's at least going to make it through 6. Stieb's fatigue is next inning, the 6th inning, so he's definitely good to go for that. Wally Joyner, the leadoff man, he doubled his last time up. He is 1 for 2. 4-3, left-handed. Ground ball shortstop X has Fernandez. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E17. And for a shortstop under E17, 15, 16, and 17 are the only 3 results that will hurt him. He's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17. And he barely does. That is a 14. So talk about narrowly escaping there. He does. Tony Fernandez must have got a tough hop, but he was able to handle it. And there's 1 away. And for Dewan White, White is doubled and struck out. 5-8, switch hitter batting left is a strikeout. So he's going to strike out again. Strikeout number 4 for Steve. He's gotten White twice. That'll send up Jack Howell. He walked and grounded to second. 5-8, another same exact roll, and he gets his 5th strikeout. Back-to-back Jacks on strikeouts. And so now we're at a stalemate. It's 3-3 through 5 as we head to the 6th. And Sutton will go back out there. Only got 1 single counted against his point of weakness, so he's going to see if he can go 6 innings. George Bell, the batter. Bell is 2 for 2. 5-5, not anymore. He flies to center field. Easy play for Gary Pettis. One down for Barfield. He is singled and hit into a double play. 3-8, and he's going to draw a base on balls. I believe that's the first walk Sutton has allowed in this game. First walk by Sutton. He has pretty good control. Barfield will not try to steal or get a lead. He'll just stay pat. And here's Upshaw. 0 for 2. 1-7, struck him out. Sutton with the strikeout. That's only his second strikeout of the game. He's not much of a strikeout pitcher either. Not this part of his career. 2 down, and the only other guy struck out is Ernie Witt, and he's coming up right now. Ernie Witt 0 for 2. Sutton trying to get through 6 innings at least. 6-6. It's a 1-18 single, so it's only a 1-star single. So runners will be at first and second. And now it's turned into a clutch situation for Kelly Gruber. Gruber 1 for 2 with a home run. Sutton on the verge of fatigue. They're going to try to get him through the inning. Oh, we got a hop and dice. Did it again. 6-9, and that's a 1-4 single. Anything else he will line to short. That's a 6. So it's going to be a liner to short, and Sutton does make it out of the inning, but that's going to be it for Sutton. They will cap him at 6 innings and turn to the bullpen for the remainder of the ball game. So Sutton's going to go 6 innings, and we'll let the Strat-O-Matic computer do the math for me so I don't have to. Just a heads up, I will be taking a 7th inning stretch break to reheat my coffee, refresh my coffee. So we'll go ahead and do the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game in the bottom of the 7th when that arrives, just to give me an excuse to do that. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits. Full disclosure on that. That's the reason I'm doing it, is to heat my coffee and not have you guys just sit here listening to nothing. So there you go. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for Sutton. And we're not sure who's going to come out in the 7th inning. It might depend on if the Angels take the lead or not. And also have to look and see what reliever has the most rest and which one has to rest. A lot of factors go into that. All right, here's Doug DeSensei. He has doubled and walked against Stieb, and this is Stieb's fatigue inning. It will begin right now. 4-12, and he's going to strike him out. So he's not looking fatigued right now. That's 3 strikeouts in a row going back to last inning. So maybe Stieb getting a second wind. Here's Gary Pettis. He's 0 for 2. 4-6, switch hitter batting left, and that's a base on balls. And Pettis loves to try to run, so he's definitely going to be looking to establish a lead. For Stieb, that is walk number 3. All right, so Pettis needs a 5 or a 6 to establish a good lead. Cannot do it. He will hold. And here comes McLemore. 2-2 for McLemore is a foul out to Ernie Witt. Right behind the plate, 2 down. And it'll be up to Bob Boone. Boone is 1 for 2. 4-8, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired, not as of yet. And that's the 7th strikeout for Stieb. He will come back for the 7th inning. He's got some endurance left in him. He only gave a walk, nothing else, so he will definitely come back. Now we go to the California bullpen. Look and see who's available. We got 2 left-handers available. We have Gary Lucas and Chuck Finley from the left side. We have Donnie Moore, Mike Cook, and Dwayne Bice from the right side. So we'll see, per the computer, who is Jeremiah said it's a day of every day in the calendar is a day. Somebody picks it as their day, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I did not know about Lemon Juice Day. I didn't know that was a thing, or chop suey for that matter. But I'm sure everything has a day. So, all right. So we go to the bullpen, and we'll check out who maybe. I don't want to overwork anybody. According to this, Dwayne Bice is only 81% on his, not over 100%. He's only at 81% on his compared to his season total. So we're going to bring in Dwayne Miami Bice, right-hander. He was 6-7, the 339 earned run average, and 17 saves in real world. In the replays, 2-1 with 1 save and a 4.15 earned run average, 22 innings pitched, 14 hits, 9 walks, and 27 strikeouts. His saves primarily come later in the season. I think Donnie Moore gets released or something like that, and so he takes over as the closer later on. If you're wondering why I'm bringing in a guy with 17 saves in a tie game in the 7th, that's the reason. So Bice, I used to think it was pronounced Bwice, but I was told it is Bice instead. So let's get his, in case it comes up, we'll get his wild pitch and balk rating, because they're not on the computer. They're not on the cards. They're on the computer. So he is a 5 on his wild pitch, 0 on his balk. He's a +1. Boone's a -3. So again, just like Sutton, he's a -2 hole. But if it gets to a wild pitch, he's a 5. If it's a balk, we don't have to worry about it. All right, so Sharperson will lead off the top of the 7th for the Blue Jays. 6-12, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he just came in the game, so the strikeout obviously is going to stand. And there's one away. Here's Tony Fernandez. 3-4, pops him up to second. McLemore is there, 2 down. So after the early run parade in the first couple of innings, we've settled into zeros here to the last 3.5 innings. Mullenix, 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. We're looking at McLemore. McLemore, 2 E22. 2 and a 17, he'll get to that. E22 and a 14 is the question. What is the answer? E22 and a 14. There's a 12, 18 and 17, but no 14. So good play. McLemore makes the play to end the inning. So Bice can go 3 innings. He can finish the game if he had to. He's got a good long relief rating in his back pocket. But now we're going to the 7th inning stretch. And, of course, my coffee is in dire need of refreshing to warm it up and fill it up, whichever way you want to explain it. But anyway, so with that being the situation, we will go to take me out to the ball game. I'm going to stretch by going downstairs and heating my coffee. You guys can stretch however you like if you want, if you're able to. If not, just relax and listen to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, perfect timing. Got back just in time. And coffee has been refreshed. Actually, I didn't add any more to it. I just heated what I have because I need to drink what I have. Programming note, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock will be the NBC game of the week. I have bumped it up from 12 to 11 as not to interfere with college football, which starts at noon in the East Coast. So That will be bumped up to 11. Tonight will be the Demolition League final game of the date that we're on, and it's going to be Kansas City at Pittsburgh in the Demolition League. And if I can get it done at some point, I'm still experimenting with it, but I'm trying on these computer things, XSplit, OBS, whatever, StreamYard, whatever I can find. I would like to be able to show a video of my computer where I do the manual entry on Strat-O-Matic, but so far I haven't been successful with my technology, but we're still working on it. All right, here's Dick Schofield to lead off the bottom of the seventh against Stieb. 4-12. He's going to strike him out. Boy, Stieb has got hot with those strikeouts. That's strikeout number 8 for Dave Stieb. Strikeout number 8. We're back to the top of the order for Rupert Jones. He had the home run in the third inning that tied the game. Nothing's gone on since then. 3-5, and he's going to ground it to first base. And Mr. Upshaw will take it to the bag himself. 2 down. For Wally World, he's 1 for 3 with a double. 2-7, and a chance for another double. 1-4. That's a 2. Double die comes up again with a low number. And it's the second double of the game for Wally World. He's in scoring position with 2 outs for Devon White, clutch situation. Joyner not being held at second base. White is 1 for 3. 6-9, switch hitter batting left, and that's trouble for Steve. 1-2 is a triple, 3-20 is a double, and the devil die comes up as a 1 again. I'm telling you, at least 10% comes up as a 1. That's going to be a triple for Devon White. And the Angels have taken the lead over Steve and the Blue Jays 4-3. Devon White triple. Look at it again, 6-9. 1-2 is a triple, 3-20 is a double, and the double die is a 1. And now the bullpen for the Blue Jays is loosening as Steve is getting close to fatigue. They're trying to get him through the inning. Got to face Jack Howell. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Steve, and his balk rating is a 0, so no worries there. 2-7. And look at this, anti-clutch for Jack Howell. A 2-7 is a single, but it's got the clutch symbol on it, and we are in a clutch situation. So with 2 outs and a runner at third, so Jack Howell, instead of getting the single, will pop it up to second base to end the inning. So Mr. Anti-Clutch showed up right there, right on time. But the Angels do take the lead, and that's going to be it for Dave Stieb. He's going to be capped at 7 innings. And he potentially could be on the hook for the loss if his team does not come back and tie this game at some point. So we'll go to the Strat computer and get the full numbers on Dave Stieb. 7 innings pitched for Stieb, 8 hits, 4 runs, all were earned. 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. I thought I had him for 8 strikeouts. Maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got him for 8 strikeouts. Why is the computer only telling me 7? I must have missed something when I put it in the computer because I know he had 8 strikeouts, but for some reason it's telling me 7, so I'm just going to put 7 down there. Not that it matters. It's not earth shattering. So Dwayne Bice coming back out now. He's going to have the lead to protect. So Bice will be facing Mosby, Bell, and Barfield. Mosby, Bell, and Barfield. 5-10, left-handed. Ballpark single, 1-5, but that's a 17, so he's going to fly to center. Oops, can't make an 8 these days. Make terrible 8s. 1 down, and here comes George Bell. 5-7, that's ground ball second base X, where you're looking at McLemore at 2E22. 2-5, that'll be interesting. I think he gets to it, though. 2-5 is a G3, good enough. That's an 8. He's an E22. No 8, so McLemore, not pretty, but makes the play. 2 down. And that'll bring up Jesse Barfield. He does have 13 home runs on the replay, so they're only one swing away from tying this game. 2-11, and there you go. Ballpark blast. It's 1-12, but that's a 19. So California catches a break. That would have been gone. 2-11, ballpark blast, 1-12, but the Devil Die this time decided to come up as a 19, and it's just a deep fly to left to end the 8th inning. So the Blue Jays almost tied the game, not quite. And now they will need a bullpen arm to come in and finish the ball game out, or at least pitch the 8th inning if they don't tie it. It's going to be DeSensei, Pettis, and McLemore, a right-hander and 2 switch hitters. So I'm guessing they will go with a right-hander out of the bullpen. Let's see here. Who needs the rest or who doesn't need the rest for Toronto? Let's see. Actually, a guy who has not pitched enough and needs some work, don't really like to use him in this situation, is the closer, Tom Hinkie. He's had a bad year in the replay, so he can use some confidence. Tom Hinkie was 0-6, 2.49, and 34 saves on the 87 season, but in the replay, he's 0-3 with 8 saves and a 5.94. So he's like 2.5 points higher on his ERA than real world. He's been struggling, so they're going to bring him in to see if he can't, A, keep California scoreless in the 8th, B, get some good work in, and C, get his confidence back. So we'll see. He's going to be facing DeSensei. 6-6, and that's a strikeout. That's a good way to start for Hinkie as he strikes out DeSensei. Here's Gary Pettis. 1-3 for Pettis, and that is a fly to center, 2 down. And Mark McLemore. 6-3, switch hitter batting left. Ground ball first base X. That's Upshaw. He's a 2E11, and that's, of course, if he makes the play, it'll be a 3-1 ground out. 2-14, he will get to it. E11 and a 9. I don't think will be a problem. It is not. An 8 was there, but not a 9. So he makes the play on a 3-1 put out. And Hinkie has a very successful 8th inning. Maybe that did get his confidence back going for future games. So we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Blue Jays. They trail it 3-2. Coming up will be Upshaw, Witt, and Gruber, a couple of lefties. Could go to the bullpen for a lefty. Let's take a look at their bullpen. Bice pitched well. Could leave him in there, but I'm trying to think along with what the real manager, Gene Mauch, would do. If you got a closer, this is the situation you use the closer for. So they're going to bring in Donnie Moore. He is their closer. So we're playing it like they did in real world. We don't know ahead of time what's going to happen, to Donnie Moore. So we don't know he's going to. Well, actually, it's pretty decent. 2.70 ERA, 2-2 with 5 saves. So he's the guy earlier on in April and May that was the closer for California. So despite the fact that Bice pitched 2 perfect innings, he's going to be relieved of his duties. And Donnie Moore will be coming on. Moore a +2 hold, so that's a -1. With Bob Boone's -3. So it's going to be Upshaw, Witt, and Gruber. And if it gets to Sharperson, they would pinch hit for him. So Donnie Moore on the replay is 1-2 with 4 saves. His ERA, though, is 9. In 9 innings pitched, he's given up 9 runs, 17 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So he has kind of struggled on the replay. So once again, just like Hinkie was struggling on the replay, they're going to hope Donnie Moore can do it. But he's in a tight situation here with trying to protect a 4-3 lead. Here's Upshaw. 4-7. 1-15 single. That is a 15 right on the dot. So it's a base hit for Upshaw. And Donnie Moore in trouble. Upshaw could get the lead potentially if they wanted to try it and risk it. A 3-7 gets him the lead, but a 9 or a 10 gets him picked off. So I don't think you get picked off in this situation. I just don't think you can allow that to happen. Now we look at the bench for the Blue Jays and see who is available off the bench. You got Fred McGriff. You got Rob AC Ducey and Rick Leach from the left side. You got Cecil Fielder and you got Garth Orge from the right side, plus the backup catcher DeWillis. Now, can any of them bunt is the question, because this is a pretty good situation if you try to bunt the tie and run into scoring position. The best bunter they have is Garth Orge. He's a B. Witt's a C. Boy. Play the corners in. You got I don't know. I think you're going to have Witt swing away. We're just going to have Witt swing away. So Witt will swing away. More to Witt. 5-9. And that's a fly ball to left, one away. There will be a pinch hitter for Sharperson, though. It's either going to be Rick Leach or Fred McGriff. Don't know which one yet. Here's Kelly Gruber. 6-7. That is a fly to center, 2 down. And now we're down to Sharperson, but of course he won't hit. He's 0 for 3. He's coming out. And it's either going to be Fred McGriff or Rick Leach. Rick Leach hit 282 real world. McGriff 247. McGriff has more power, but Leach has a better chance to get a base hit. Cecil Fielder 269, but he's a righty. So I'm going to go with Rick Leach, former Michigan Wolverine quarterback back in the day. So Rick Leach will pinch hit for Sharperson here in the 9th inning. And if they tie the game, they'll have Garth Orge come in and play second base. So we'll go to the computer and bring in Rick Leach off the bench. And on the replay, Rick Leach is hitting 227 in 22 at-bats. No homers, 2 driven in. He did hit 282 real world with 3 home runs. So Donnie Moore trying to secure it against Rick Leach. 2 outs and Upshaw at first base. 3-6 for Leach, and he's going to strike out to end the ball game. So Rick Leach out on strikes. Donnie Moore secures it. And the Angels beat the Blue Jays 4-3, and that makes the Yankees and the Brewers happy, that's for sure. It puts the Blue Jays down a notch. Hinkie went 1 inning, gave up nothing with a strikeout. So Stieb takes a tough luck loss. He will drop to 5-2. Sutton does not get the win. He gets a no decision. The win's actually going to Bice. And Donnie Moore will get the save. So we'll do the totals real quickly. And in case you're curious on a 3-6, and I know that, Mr. Guterman has talked about the butterfly effect. Depending on how you draw the cards out, the dice might come out differently. But McGriff would have struck out. And Cecil Fielder would have had a home run chance on a 1-11, but that was a 12, so he would have flied out. So it didn't matter who I brought in. It was not going to work. So. And Ducey, who's also a lefty, he would have also struck out on the 3-6. So to use the Star Trek analogy, the original series Star Trek, it was a Kobayashi Maru no-win situation. No matter what you did, you were going to be down and out. So Leach with the strikeout will get the totals from the box score from the Strat computer and wrap this thing up. From California, or California, as they say. So, yeah, Bice the winner. He is now 3-1 on the replay. Donnie Moore picks up save number 5. And Steve drops to 5-2. Totals: 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for California. 3 runs and 8 hits and no errors for Toronto. Toronto left on, well, both teams left 6 runners on base. So what this does. Hey, ID, caught me late here. I'm still trying to get the XSplit to work, ID. It's not working for me. I'm trying it, but it's not working. I don't know if you can help me or tell me what I'm doing wrong, but when I go to record on XSplit, I can't get a full screen. It's recording like a postage stamp size screen, and I can't figure out what setting to do to make it a full screen. And when I use OBS, it records fine on the video, but the audio and the video, at about 5 minutes in, the audio gets way ahead of the video, and it's not in sync. So couldn't use it. I mean, did a recording using it, but I couldn't post it because it was just too terrible. It was way out of sync. So anyways, go to the standings now, updated standings to the minute. We have the Blue Jays are now a half game back. You know what I'll do? I'll try to. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'll try it because I don't have the technology to mess with it right now. But we'll see if that works. See if that shows up. I don't know. Let's see if this can actually pan out somehow. All right, so there are your standings. If I can get this thing to do right, maybe it's better to do it this way. Yeah, I think that's going to do it better this way. There, if I can get it to show up right, there are your up to the second standings in this replay. With the loss, Toronto was tied for Milwaukee. Now they're a half game back, and Yankees are 1 game back. California drops to 4 games behind. So not a good loss for Toronto. They were looking to keep track and keep up with Milwaukee and New York, but they slip a game back. And so the Angels spoilers for the Blue Jays. There you go, Jeremiah. I remember that song too. I remember that one very well. So as I look at the schedule for this particular replay, we'll probably boot this back up on Monday, but I've got to figure out what the schedule is. We'll be on May 20th by that point because I'll play the other games offline. So if we look at the May 20th schedule for this replay, that's a Wednesday, May 20th in 1987. The matchups are still the same, so let's pick a game from that seems like it would be okay. Let's see. We did Detroit, Texas, and we did Toronto, California, so we'll pick somebody else. Could go to Kansas City and do Boston and Kansas City. That's Bruce Hurst against Danny Jackson, a couple of lefties. That would be a pretty decent matchup. Could do Yankees in Oakland. That's Charles Hudson against Eric Plunk. I'm thinking, though, Kansas City and Boston is the next game on Monday morning from this 1987 replay. It'll be Bruce Hurst against Danny Jackson, a couple of lefties. So that's the game I'm going to plan on for this coming Labor Day morning. So anyway. So ID, I'm going to play around with it. If you're still here, ID, I'm going to play around with it and see if I can figure this thing out as to what it's doing. I may have to. Now I am using the free version because you can start with the free version. And like I said, it was doing well, except for the fact that I can't get the full screen. I don't know what I'm doing. There's got to be a setting on there somewhere where when I do the recording, it makes the full screen I have on the computer in my background, turns it into a little square. And I don't know why it's doing that, but for whatever reason it does. So I'll have to figure it out. Maybe I'll watch some YouTube videos and try to figure out what's going on with it. That's usually my go-to. If I can't figure something out in life, whether it's how to unclog a drain or whatever, if it's something practical, I'll go on YouTube and see if there's a video for it. And if there is, I'll try to learn from it. So anyway, that's going to do it from here. Coffee is still warm, thank goodness. So I can drink a sip of that. Tonight around 9 o'clock will be the Demolition League game between Kansas City and Pittsburgh. And then tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, with football starting at noon, we are bumping the game up to 12 o'clock. To 11 o'clock, rather, Eastern. And it will be the NBC game of the week on season ticket baseball. And actually, I don't even know who's playing in that. I will have to look real quick and look at the schedule because I haven't pulled the teams out or anything, I don't think. Or did I? I think I might have already. Check that. No, we're in Boston. I remember that. We're at Fenway Park. It's going to be California and Boston. So we're going to get California and Boston. in the NBC game of the week, and then we get that's for 78. But then we're gonna get California and Boston again in 87 on the replay in the 87 replay. So if you like Boston or California, you got California here. So if you like Boston and California, I should get Boston, Kansas City on the 87 replay. So if you like Boston or California, you're in good shape. But that's going to do it from here. Once we hit the 21st, I believe new series start on the 21st on that Thursday. Let me double check that. We get new matchups, hopefully, on the 21st. Actually, there's only one game on the 21st, and that's Minnesota and Cleveland. That's a decent matchup. I might go ahead and do that one. Burt Blyleven against Greg Swindell. That everybody else is traveling that day. That's the one game that played on Thursday, the 22nd. So I may do that. Pick that one and play it since it's the 22nd. Now, since it's the 21st. On the 22nd, new series starts. Baltimore goes to Oakland. Chicago goes to Boston. Cleveland goes to Milwaukee. Detroit goes to Minnesota. Kansas City goes to Texas. New York moves from Oakland to California. And Toronto moves from California to Seattle. So Baltimore, New York, and Toronto are on a West Coast swing. They're just switching cities. And so that could be interesting to pick games from that as well. So thank you all for spending part of your Friday morning with me. Hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Whatever you got planned, stay safe out there. I want to see you all back and happy and healthy for next week. California wins it 4-3. Don't know how to give the player of the game to. Maybe Devon White. He doubled to start the scoring for them, and then he had an RBI triple in the 7th inning. That was the difference. So I'm kind of leaning to Devon White. Although he did strike out in the first two in the middle innings, but still 2 for 4 with a run scored and a triple and a double and an RBI. That's pretty good. So might lean towards Devon White as the player of the game. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Friday wherever you are. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.